I promise I'll never betray you again. I love you, Cleveland.
I'm no meteorologist, but I'm pretty sure it's raining.
Yes, I know it's unpopular, but unpopular is just my style. Totally. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about Family Guy. Or more specifically, Cleveland's ex-wife, Loretta Marie Calendar Brown, or just Loretta Brown for short. And I'm coming to you live from the Luxor Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. A childhood dream of mine, ever since I saw Beavis and Butthead Do America. Don't worry, I conquered the vomiting caused by my jet lag, and I think I am able to go back to video making. Wait, that's a lie. I'm actually on my back porch, surrounded by recyclables in Jersey. But I did primarily write the script while in Las Vegas at the Luxor Casino. Now, ever since I've started reviewing Family Guy, some of you have been asking me to take a look at its short-lived spin-off, The Cleveland Show. Well, that video will one day see the light of day, just not today. I figured first things first. Why not make a video on Loretta? Plus, since that was primarily a business trip turned vacation, it's also an easy topic. As we all know, Loretta was nothing more than Cleveland's cheating, boisterous ex-wife until she died come The Cleveland Show. The thing is, I feel like the shows she was featured in made her a massive waste. Despite being Cleveland's wife and friends with Bonnie and Lois, we know next to nothing about her. So, let's discuss. As I just said, Loretta was Cleveland's wife, yada yada yada, and while Bonnie and Lois were normally more subdued and soft-spoken, especially early on, Loretta differed from them by being more loud and proud.
We have had it with his disrespect for women. We're petitioning the city to have him removed from the neighborhood.
And that was kinda cool. The thing is, this is all you can really say about Loretta. She isn't the show's take on the sassy black woman cliche, she's just there. We don't even know why a quiet, sensitive, easygoing cucumber like Cleveland would end up with Loretta. It sucks because there was so much the writing staff could have done with her. Then Family Guy got cancelled and then revived. And then we got the episode, The Cleveland Loretta Quagmire. That's such a weird name for a lake. The neighbors are out on Peter's fishing boat at twilight.
Peter, thanks a lot for having us out on your boat.
No problem.
Because Cleveland and Loretta, while flat, have a much better love story than Twilight. You know I had to. While Quagmire is fishing, he accidentally loses his fish on the backswing, and it ends up in Loretta's secret compartment.
Hey, can I have my fish back?
Oh, you gonna have to reach into the cookie jar.
Reach in there. All right.
Yeah, you go in and get that. Show that fishy who's boss.
While removing his fish from Loretta's thingies, some comments are made.
Well, we'll have to do this again sometime.
You name the time and the place, little Nick.
Keep this in mind. Now, before we go any further, I just want to make something clear about Loretta. Why was she written off? Well, for two reasons. The first reason was that the writing staff could not think of anything good to do with her, which is why she never got her own episode, or we know anything about her. And the second reason, well, have you ever heard of a throat ripper? AKA that one voice that's most hardest for voice actors to do, oftentimes because it strains their vocal cords. Like for Seth MacFarlane, it's apparently Stan, or for Mike Judge, it was Beavis from the original series run, hence why Beavis sounds so different nowadays. Well, for Alex Borstein, who also voiced Loretta, in addition to Lois, hers was, you guessed it, Loretta. Loretta's voice was too much strain for her, and because nobody on the staff wanted her there, she was gone. Gone like a group of bikini bottomites on National No SpongeBob Day. After Peter's fiasco at being Peter Griffin certified CPR, he and Brian discover moaning at Cleveland's house.
Again, I'm sure they'd give you another card.
Holy crap.
We should go.
Oh my goodness, I wonder who it could be.
What was that?
Shut up and put some more of that sugar in my bowl.
OMG, how could I not have guessed? As it turns out, Loretta gave into carnal lust with another man. She sold her life for a frost, and that's the spirit of lust. Of course, because Cleveland isn't Dale Gribble and this was season 4, Peter and Brian are good people, and eventually end up telling him, and he takes it way better than expected.
It's okay.
It's okay? It's okay to be betrayed by your wife and best friend?
Better it be Quagmire than someone she could get a disease from.
Cleveland, denial isn't just a club outside of McManorberry or a river in Egypt. You're allowed to be upset. But on the bright side, at least Peter did not bring out the ragtime guys to sing Cleveland the AIDS song. He's always so good at giving bad news. Afterwards, Cleveland confronts Loretta with the same inflection as him asking if she wants pizza for dinner or Chinese food. I myself am having Domino's, so I guess pizza.
Well, I admit after a long day at work, I don't always come home with that nice mentality. And for that, I apologize.
Apologize? I cheat on you and you apologize to me?
Cleveland, stand up for yourself. Live up to your namesake. You are a Cleveland Brown. Sports team, I presume? I saw shirts for them at Mandalay Bay. I don't know which kind of sport team. I don't even know how sports work. For this, Loretta kicks him out.
Goodbye, Cleveland.
I love you.
Rude. And he has to move in with Peter and Lois, who want nothing more than for him to stand up for himself. Speaking of, this episode reminds me of something.
I cry when I need to. I share my feelings and I keep my mind open about everything.
Give me some boundaries. Be jealous. Go throw a football around for Christ's sake.
Now you're starting to hurt my feelings.
Yeah, Cleveland, go throw a football around, right? It's a football team? That's my best guess. Or is it a basketball team? Eventually, Cleveland finds out that Quagmire slept with his wife, and this is the kick in the pants he needs to get angry.
Somebody!
Glenn Quagmire, you're dead!
Good for him. Of course, this is bad because now he's standing up for himself.
Peter, we have got to do something about Cleveland. I think you created a monster.
And as we all know from South Park, people will beg you to no longer be a people pleaser and then get pissed when you take their advice. Because now Cleveland wants to kill Quagmire. Oh yeah, I should have said that.
All right, calm down, Cleveland.
I'm gonna kill Quagmire!
Oh, God.
But not Loretta for some reason. Just saying, I hate when they do this with shows. How I Met Your Mother did it, BoJack did it. The other person knew they were in a relationship and they still did it. The blame lies with them as much as the dude who wasn't in the relationship, if not more so. Still, Cleveland calms down and eventually tells Loretta that they're done.
Loretta, what you did was unforgivable. This marriage is over. Well, I may not be perfect, but I deserve better than you.
And that would be the end for Loretta. If not for the episode, love Blackshally. Brian starts to date a woman who is basically him if he were not a dog, named Calin.
I don't think you want this book. It's all about atheism.
Oh, I know. I'm an atheist.
Really? So am I.
It's all yours.
Calin also happens to look like me if I was a redhead, which is something I shall never be for as long as I live, because I don't want to be a redhead. Because Stewie advised Brian to take it slow, he doesn't hit that thing when he has the chance. And this makes Calin think that he's not interested in a relationship. So of course, she friend zones Brian and pivots over to Cleveland.
Oh my God! Carolyn? Cleveland?
Oh, hey, Brian. Close that window. You're letting all the stank out.
And boom goes the dynamite. Jealous, Brian tries to break up Cleveland and Calin, who eventually get engaged, by going to Loretta and asking her to take back Cleveland, because I'm sure Loretta wants to hit that thing after everything she went through and said. Granted, there is the fact that Calin and Cleveland keep doing it everywhere and anywhere.
Oh, and boom goes the dynamite.
There it is. I tell you what, this would be painful to watch if you loved that girl.
And they can't just ask them to tone it down? When they get there, they find that Loretta is not receptive to the idea at all. And she can also sort of understand what Stewie says, but she forgets his name for some reason.
Hi, Loretta.
Brian, stop it! Well, I get the gist of what you're saying, Stooley, but I can never go back to Cleveland. Not after all the pain I caused him. I'm sorry.
However, I gotta say, this is pretty big of her. I applaud her. I respect it a lot. Some people never see themselves as being in the wrong. Too bad that because of Brian, Loretta gets a bug in her brain to go back to Cleveland for some reason. Kinda weird, but maybe she misses her son. Another detail they should have expanded on. Just saying, the Cleveland show makes the point that the divorce caused Junior a lot of pain. It would be nice for them to acknowledge this. Cleveland decides to go talk to Loretta before he makes a decision, but the Griffins are naturally pretty suspicious, as I would be, because I trust no one. They decide to test Loretta with Quagmire.
Possibly. I mean, in what context?
Well, we're trying to make Cleveland see that she's no good and that he can't trust her, and if he catches you guys in the act, then...
Oh, okay, all right, I'm with you now.
At Loretta's hotel room, wait, what? She doesn't live in Quahog? Couldn't Cleveland just go to her house? Loretta is tempted, and naturally, she's pretty pissed.
Glenn Quagmire, you get out of here.
Come on, baby, time for round 2.
You're the devil. You ruined my marriage.
Loretta, look, no offense, but it takes 2 to tango. And you were the one who propositioned him, all because you thought Cleveland was boring.
I'm a woman, Cleveland. I need some passion in my life. I need a real man, and Lord knows that ain't you.
If anything, you were the worst party in that regard because Quagmire actually felt bad about what he did. And even after Cleveland forgave him, he still insisted on punishment. You kicked him out for not being a man when you were the one who cheated on him. Cleveland goes to the hotel room and tells her not to bother. He doesn't want to get back together with her. And for a pretty good reason. He's moved on. Heck, they've both moved on. And it's all been for the better.
What you and I had was a wonderful thing. And as much as I still have a great deal of love for you, our time is over.
Wow, who knew Family Guy could pull off really good, heartwarming moments compared to what Mr. Enter has said. However, Loretta has one final request. What does Cleveland want her to do? Well...
You can live your life, Loretta. Live it as full and as wonderful as you can. I love you.
Aw, he didn't need to say that, and he did. Still, this is the last we see of Loretta on Family Guy. In the flesh. She isn't Komakai. Then comes the Cleveland show. While I am saving some criticism for an eventual video, I want to give you guys a little taste here. To be honest, I don't think the Cleveland show was that bad of an idea in principle. Just an execution. But it's true. Crucify me if you want. I am still a monk. The problem with the show is that first off, Cleveland's character changed way too much to the point where it's like, why even bother? During Family Guy, Cleveland was always known for being a quiet, go-with-the-flow kind of guy. Here, he's the complete opposite. He becomes Peter Griffin 2.0 if Peter Griffin was a black man.
Always thought I had a God-given talent, Donna. I'm a Forsyth. We get you foughten too, and we'll be unbeatable.
And second, they constantly made the point that Cleveland was a character from Family Guy, practically way too often.
Then I'm heading up to Langley. Got a background gag and a bachelor party scene on American Dad.
Oh, that's good. Paying work.
Save it. Have fun on your spin-off, Joey.
To compare it to another super successful spin-off with a similar premise, Frasier, that show worked because it was able to separate itself from the sister show so much that, kinda like me, you did not even need to have to watch Cheers to know who Frasier was, but that would have massively helped. It had its own tone, different from the original show, and it was fun and funny. With Frasier, there was a once-a-season tradition where Frasier's now ex-wife, Lilith, would come to Seattle for one reason or another. Oftentimes because Frasier's son would visit. Because Frasier still wants to be a good dad, even if he doesn't have custody of his son. And this very much helped to flesh out her character. They could have done something similar here. For many divorced couples, they can agree that for whatever goes on with them, their children come first, and they will be loved. Maybe Junior could miss his mother, and she could come over for visits. Or live nearby so that they could still be a family, just not all together under one roof. But obviously she would be living far enough away that she's probably not a main character. How would Donna and Loretta get along? Would Donna think that Loretta was jealous of her or feel threatened by her? Would Loretta have legitimately changed for the better because she knew Cleveland? Well, that doesn't happen here. They completely changed her character for the worse. The reason the Cleveland show happened was because during the divorce proceedings, Loretta was granted the house and Cleveland got sole custody of Junior.
My divorce was finalized and I lost the house to Loretta. I also got custody of Cleveland Jr.
What is he, 14 years old now?
Yep.
Man.
And this causes Cleveland to move back home to Virginia to see what to do next, now that he's essentially homeless. Which makes no sense. Didn't she say she wanted to make it up to Cleveland for all the harm she caused him? And doesn't she live far away, or at least far enough away as to require a hotel room just to meet him? In a way, I feel like it would be better if perhaps Loretta does acquisition Cleveland's stuff like the house, or even Junior, or both, because maybe she feels guilty for the harm she not only caused her ex-husband, but her own son. But Cleveland feels like there's nothing for him in Quahog, or the memory of what happened still stings. So he sells his house and takes his son with him to parts unknown. Just saying, that was kinda why Fraser moved to Seattle. Terrible stuff happened in Boston, and he just wanted a fresh start. Then there's the infamous episode where Loretta dies. During Gone with the Wind, Cleveland has to win a karaoke contest with Donna, but he fails because he has the toots, which I will not play because unlike Terrence and Phillip, I am not about the fart jokes. Afterwards, Donna finds out that Loretta died.
She's dead.
Oh.
Oh crap, but how?
No! Oh, God!
OMG! Realism! Unlike Cleveland, she had no cushion on her sittin' muscle, right? Isn't that what Flapjack called it? But before we get to Cleveland's reaction, we have to get to Junior's, because a child did lose his mother for the second time.
How did Cleveland Jr. take the news?
Why would my son care that my ex-wife is dead? Oh boy.
You have to wonder how torn up he must be. First off, I do appreciate how Donna and Cleveland broke the news to him, going to him personally and saying that whatever he was feeling, he was allowed to be that way.
Junior, your mother, Loretta, is dead.
Well, that's very sad news.
If you want to cry, it's okay.
Don't hold it in, Junior.
He had a right to be upset. But much to their surprise, Junior doesn't really care.
Dr. Gensler said that it's possible to grieve for a loss before an actual death. I've already mourned the loss of my mother. I have a new family that would love and support me in a way that my biological mother never could.
Which I kind of understand, and I find very mature of him. If a relative is suffering for a little while, this might sound kind of odd, but you kind of get used to the idea that they won't be around anymore, which in a way kind of makes the death a relief. Not for you, for them, because it means they no longer have to suffer. Besides, he wasn't necessarily all that close to his mother to begin with. Remember the episode where Peter becomes a parent to Junior? Well, he and his mom barely interacted in that one instance. Unlike his son, whenever Cleveland is reminded that his ex-wife is dead, he is utterly destroyed.
No!
Donna starts to wonder why Cleveland cares that much, since Loretta treated him like crap.
Cleveland, that was the woman you always complained about. The woman who cheated on you, who slept with your friends.
Well, one friend.
Which, if I had to wonder, despite that, the two did share a life together for some time and a child. Even if he's not upset about that, he probably would be a little distraught about what could have been if Loretta wasn't such a lying, cheating and mourning that. You know, the what if. As for Cleveland, Donna shows him no sympathy and tells him in not so many words that he better get over it, or else.
You better figure it out, Cleveland, before you lose another wife.
Aw, how sympathetic. Which kind of makes me hate that we got Love Actually. That episode humanized Loretta when it obviously did not need to. It actually made me feel sympathy for her, even if, besides Stolish, cheating is one of the biggest no-nos for me. And it's like they forgot that episode existed, or they just didn't care. Was this another universe? Did Loretta just have a momentary change of doubt? Did they catch her on a good day? This episode gives Loretta plenty of restitution for what she did to Cleveland, even if the both of them made up in the end. For example, Quagmire dumps her body off at Stool Bend, even if Loretta probably isn't from there. That's weird. And he tries to do to her corpse what he did to Stephanie.
Why is she wearing a French maid's costume?
Because I want to nail a dead French maid. Giggity, giggity!
Well, I mean... ew. And at her funeral, she gets a weirdo speech.
But according to Wikipedia, a woman by that name won a Grammy in 1989 for Best Spoken Word Album. Another woman by that name served in the Australian Parliament between 1958 and 1964.
You know, I looked this up and apparently it's super wrong. I don't know, I wanted to see if they did research. The 1989 Grammy Award for Best Spoken Word or Non-Musical Recording was Jesse Jackson for Speech by Reverend Jesse Jackson. That's catchy. And while the only Australian Loretta I was able to find was Loretta Morin, an advocate of the Friends of Science and Medicine, she was not a member of the Australian Parliament. She was rather an advocate of the Friends of Science and Medicine, and she was born in 1951. But in a sense, I guess he was on Wikipedia, so maybe it makes sense he was super duper wrong. However, that's not to say Loretta did not have an impact on the Cleveland show after her death. During the controversial Hurricane crossover, we find out that Junior's bad home life, i.e. Loretta divorcing his father, caused him to doubt the existence of God, which honestly makes for a more compelling reason and more sense than Brian's reasoning. And during the season 1 finale, You're the Best Man, Cleveland Brown, her will ends up leaving everything to Junior.
He is to have unfettered access to all assets in the amount of...
Hey!
Your cheating ex-wife got everything in the divorce and gave it all to your dim-witted or possibly brilliant son.
Okay, maybe that's her way of making things up to her son in death, but it comes with a certain stipulation.
I'm sorry, Cleveland, but the will stipulates that you are to have no knowledge of its details.
Look at these juicy details!
Oh, and that's not all.
Unfortunately, Junior, the will also states that if you give a single penny to your father, Loretta's entire estate will go to a Mr. Glenn Quagmire.
You know what? I'm done. Good on you to use the money to pay for your grandparents' wedding, Junior, but your mother can go suck an egg. Anybody know where I can find a good bathtub? Maybe one with the little legs like in Nightmare Before Christmas? Until then, bye!
Now, it is true her personality is abrasive, but overall, Loretta is a delightful person, very pleasant to be around, and free to pursue a life of religious fulfillment.